All right, welcome back, class. So in this lesson, I want to go ahead and continue on with our shaders. I went ahead and disabled our textures in our textures tab and our displacement here. So we're just back to our normal kind of plastic looking shader here. So I want to look at, we've looked at the principled shader, but what if we want to combine shaders, okay? And this is a pretty common thing that we might want to do where we're creating multiple shaders, but maybe we want to combine them to get different things, okay? You know, a good example of this is maybe we have a metal shader, and then we have some rust spots on it, or you know, something like that where we can combine two or more shaders to go ahead and get kind of one whole shader. And so there's a way we can do that. So if we take a look, we can go ahead, and I'm just going to copy this principled shader. So I'm going to Control C, Control V, and so we get a duplicate here. Okay, and I'll just name this shader something like red plastic, like that. And then in this shader, I'm going to go ahead, go back to surface. I'm just going to choose one of these pre-made shaders. So if we drop that down, and then maybe we get something like, let's come down. Let's something that maybe has some displacement to it, that kind of sticks out a little bit. Maybe we'll do something like the bricks. Okay, so if I have this brick shader, and I'm going to go ahead and just apply it just to see what this looks like. So there we go. So there's the brick shader. We have it applied. It has the displacement and the shader and everything kind of built into it. Okay, and maybe we'll come back to this displacement and we'll bring this down to 0.01. So maybe something like that, and I'll just call this bricks. Right? So maybe I want to combine these shaders, this red shader, this red plastic shader, and this brick shader. So we can do that inside of Houdini. And if I go ahead and tab in here, and if I start typing in layer, okay? If I start typing in layer, I have all these few different types of layer nodes here. And the one I'm looking for is this layer mix, okay? So if I go ahead and click this layer mix and lay it down, you can see I get two inputs, an A and a B, and I have this alpha channel here, okay? We're not worried about these two blue ones, but the A and B in this alpha channel. So you can see that these colors coordinate too. And if I look on the output of this layer, okay, we have surface, displacement, and then we do have a layer which matches the color of one of these. So that's a good indication that this goes inside of this layer mix or any of these kind of layer nodes. So what I can do is I can take this layer and I can put it right into A there. Same thing with this bricks. I can take this layer and I can put this right into B here, okay? And what I want to do is to activate this layer mix, I can go ahead and turn on this orange flag here, and this will be recognized as a material. And if I don't want these to be turned on, I can just turn these off as well, and these won't be recognized as a material. Only this layer mix will. And I can always put if I want, I can put a null out here, so I just don't have the layer mix. So maybe I want this to be activated. I can turn this off, and then I can rename this to something like combined shader, something like that. Okay, so now I can come back up to, say, the object level on our test ball, and under our material input here, I can go under material, and you can see I only have that combined shader available because I only turned that orange flag on the combined shader. So I can just click that, and I can go ahead and hit accept, and just give it a minute. Go back to our material. And once it starts rendering, you can see that now we get a combination of these two shaders, okay? We get a combination of the bricks and the red plastic here, okay? And if I go ahead and click on that layer mix, you can see that this alpha channel, which we have an input here for, is at 0.5, meaning that it's getting exactly half of each shader. We're using a little bit of both, but exactly kind of half of each shader. Now if I bring this down to 0, it will use all of the red shader. Okay, so you can see that we don't get any of that brick in here. Okay, if we go to 1, it's using all of B here, which is connected to our brick shader. Okay, and then again, any number in between that, we get a combination. Okay, so if I want it more towards the brick shader, I can put this number higher. If I want more towards the red plastic, I can put this number lower. Okay, so again, we can mix different shaders here. All right, and I can keep mixing using multiple layer mixes. So if I went ahead and I'm going to Control-C, Control-V my bricks shader here, and maybe I'll pick another pre-made shader here, maybe something like metal grate, because that's something we can see. And I'll rename this to metal grate. Okay, so I can go ahead and lay down another layer mix, and I can take the output of this layer, put that into A, the output of this new layer, put it into B, and then this will go out to this layer now. Since this is what we're rendering here, this will work just fine. So now we're going to get a combination of all 3 of these. So you can see, there we go. We have a combination of the red, the brick, but here we're going ahead and we're getting half of this group and then half of this one here. Okay, so if maybe I want this to be more towards this kind of group of layers here, and I can separate these a little more. You can see if I bring that number down, it'll go ahead more towards this. Maybe bring this up to 0.25. And there we go. So we get a little, we can see the brick, we can see the red, but we're also starting to see that metal grate texture kind of pop out there as well. Okay. So again, we can start just making a combination of these different layers and add more and more to make these layers pretty complex, which is really nice. We can make some really complex shaders pretty quickly using a mix of this technique here. Okay. So that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to go and kind of take this up a notch and look at more that we can do with these layers and how we can kind of customize maybe where we want this mix to happen. Okay, so we'll see you in the next one.